Our next speech is going to be by Red Bear, and he is going to educate us about the important issue of orphan wells in Alberta. Give him a round of applause.
Hi everyone. We all know that Canada has multiple natural resource issues across the country, but a very important and not very well known problem that has been looming in Western Canada, specifically Alberta, for the past couple of years is the drastic increase in the number of orphaned oil and gas wells across the province. Now, for those that are confused as to the meaning of orphan wells, when an owner of an oil or gas well becomes bankrupt, leaving the well with nobody to take care of it, the well is considered orphaned. This is a serious problem to the oil and gas industry because wells that are no longer producing are no longer making the industry any money, and the oil companies that own the wells have to pay for the cleanup, and this will lower their income. It is a very long and expensive process to safely decommission and reclaim an orphan well. Firstly, a large concrete plug needs to be placed hundreds of meters below the surface of the wells, preventing them from releasing the contaminants into the atmosphere. And these contaminants can include gas contaminants, such as methane and hydrogen sulfide, and groundwater contaminants from leaks. These contaminants pose a big threat to all wildlife that come in contact with them. Secondly, remediation has to be done to the well. That's cleaning up the ground around the orphaned wells in case of contaminants leaked into the soil and air. Finally, the footprint of the well needs to be cleaned up. Any forests cut down or any agricultural land dug up by the well need to be restored. This multi-step process can take years to complete, and it can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to reclaim each of them. With over 3,400 orphaned wells in Alberta and over 90,000 inactive wells that could easily become orphaned as of this year, the costs can rack up to the billions of dollars. Recently, Alberta has estimated that the total cost of cleaning all the wells in the province is around a whopping $30 billion. However, only $227 million in financial security has been held towards the wells. That's barely a fraction of what we need. And the federal government's $1.7 billion loan towards the cleaning cost, something that was promised back in April, hasn't even been fully spent yet. Now, I would like to propose a couple of solutions to this multi-billion-dollar issue. But let's first look at what North Dakota, one of the biggest crude oil producers in the US, is doing with its inactive oil and gas wells. The state had only 1,683 inactive wells in January of this year, and not a single one of them was orphaned. The reason for this is that North Dakota has strict guidelines and timelines when it comes to their oil wells. In North Dakota, if a well stops producing for just 3 months, it is immediately flagged and lots of money is saved up in the state to plug and remediate their wells. Alberta needs a plan to deal with their existing orphan wells along with their future orphan wells. I suggest that the federal and provincial government should learn from North Dakota and similarly implement strict timelines to mitigate impacts of this issue in the future. I also propose to make it mandatory that the oil companies ask other stakeholders about their sides of this issue, such as locals and the government, before proceeding with putting more wells into production and taking more land from generous landowners throughout the province. Since the government is refusing to take action regarding this issue, let's force them to. Let's start an online protest and post videos on social media, holding up signs and demanding change. Sign my petition to end the ignorance of this multi-billion-dollar issue. Email government officials and demand them to take action. We have to start somewhere, guys. It's very unfortunate that this issue wasn't taken care of earlier, and it's also very unfortunate that we have gotten to this multi-billion-dollar level. It's important to keep in mind that everything one does has a long-term effect on it, whether it be an argument or an investment. And from now on, I encourage all of the people listening to my speech to start being more mindful about thinking of the long-term effects of their day-to-day decisions. Thank you. Sign my petition to end the ignorance. Thank you.